Today I'm talking about Bitcoin heading up to $200,000 if it is following this pattern that a lot of people recognize. This shows that Bitcoin is heading to 200,000 and possibly beyond. And we're talking about the Wyckoff Accumulation, Wyckoff pattern. And here's another one that extends it, Wyckoff Logic, okay? And Wyckoff is basically this guy from like 100 years ago that figured out that there's a pattern that stocks go through when there's large whales or institutions that's trying to accumulate and trying to cause people, retail people, to sell. There's certain things that they do for whatever reason, right? And people figured out a few years ago that Wyckoff also can be seen. This pattern can be seen in cryptos, specifically Bitcoin, because all these institutions, whales, start coming into Bitcoin, right? So if you're following this is what's coming. All right, we broke out of accumulation stage. We're about to head into the markup stage, and it makes sense because this is leading up to the halving event. Okay, and halving event is about April or May of next year, right? So it's making sense that this is happening. And then we're going to get into the peak bull run, right? Kind of like the 2025 or end of 2024, beginning of 2025. We get that distribution, basically. We kind of just top out and go sideways a little bit. And then eventually we head back down. Now the time scale on the bottom here is a little bit off, but this is where we're heading to. After the halving event, and then we go into 2025, that last year, the bull run year, okay? Or the parabolic top year, I should say. That's what's going to happen. Now, this is zoomed out, so you just see a couple of this. But throughout this period, you're going to see a lot more movement, a lot more volatility, right? But keep in mind, with all the whales and institutions and Bitcoin ETFs that's coming up, right? There's going to be so much money coming in. Who knows what this pattern is really going to look like and how high Bitcoin will end up. Could be much higher. We could go to 250,000 or 300,000, 500,000. Probably not 500,000. That's a little too high. But who knows where Bitcoin's going to head. Even Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood says, first of all, her application for Bitcoin spot ETF is before BlackRock. So she may get the very first one. She may get the very first Bitcoin spot ETF, right? But she's very bullish. Of course, Ark Invest is very bullish, has been for a long time, right? So we'll see. But she also made some changes too. There's a surveillance sharing agreement that BlackRock put into theirs, and now Ark has done so too, basically allowing CBOEs to kind of track the performance. So basically having someone else look at the volatility, right? And many people think that this little addition is going to make a big difference, right? But if this gets approved, then BlackRock's going to get approved, Fidelity's going to get approved, and everyone else that has application will get approved. And think about the FOMO that's going to cause. North Carolina passes bill to study how holding Bitcoin can be profitable for the state. Wow. 73 out of the 120 members voting in favor, 40 against it, and the remaining 7 were absent. But basically sounds like North Carolina wants to start holding Bitcoin, just like everyone else. Why would you not want to? You don't need to study it. There's enough data out there. If they watch this channel, they would know, yeah, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Okay, so now even states. We know some states are very favorable towards Bitcoin miners because it helps improve the power grid. It also brings a lot of revenue for the state, right? It makes sense. Now you're having states saying, okay, let's go beyond that. Let's just start buying and holding Bitcoin. We want to see the price go up because a lot of us hold a lot of Bitcoins already, right? Or Ethereum or Cardano or Solana, whatever it may be. We want to see the price go up. But these big boys, they don't want to see that. They want to put in $1 billion and see things not move at all. They want to accumulate as much as possible, right? So what do? They buy usually through OTC. They don't go through spot Coinbase or spot Binance, because that would be ridiculous. Because if they put $1 billion trade, it's going to cause Bitcoin to pump up by like $10,000. Okay, so they don't want that. They want to do it behind the scenes. Okay, so OTC is definitely going up, but nowhere as close as the peak in 2021. But it's definitely rising, and you could definitely see the price action is following too, right? Now, OTC doesn't affect the order books on the centralized exchanges, but it does affect how much is available, okay? Because there's just so many Bitcoins. It's not like there's a lot of hidden Bitcoin somewhere. We could see exactly how much there is out there. And when these big whales are buying, even though it's behind the scenes, it's not causing a price movement, there's less exchanges out there for sale. I mean, less Bitcoin out there for sale, right? So this is very powerful. This is an insight into what's happening behind the scenes, which is showing there's a lot of accumulation that's happening. And if you need more proof, here's another one. The EMA 20 on this is on the 5-day scale. Whenever it's almost like it's just one of those averages that is very bullish or very bearish for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin breaks below and can't go back above it, well, then it goes down pretty badly. Like in 2018, 2022, Bitcoin went down from that point about 52%. 2022 went down about 63% from that point. But you look at the opposite, the times where it did break above and kept going, like in 2020, well, yeah, that's a big percentage gain, right? And we have broke above it, and we are now utilizing as support. So again, what does this mean? This means it's very bullish for Bitcoin. Also, part of fundamentals, percent of supply last active 1 year ago, 69%, all-time high. Bitcoin has never seen a number higher than it is now in terms of the number of Bitcoin not moved, okay, in 1 year. Again, accumulation, right? Accumulation, holding. I always argue this, and people don't quite understand. The fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better than now. If you're measuring network usage, network addresses, the accumulation, the number of hodled coins, right? You look at all these things, Bitcoin is at all-time high. The hash rate, the difficulty, all-time high, despite the fact that the price is not at all-time high. But just think about it. Put 2 and 2 together. What does that mean? That means the price is lagging. It's lagging a lot. We should be above 69,000 already. So when the price does catch up, it's going to be tremendous.